The Legends of King Arthur. Gawain and the Green Knight. Retold by Tracy Mayhew, illustrated by Mike Phillips. Chapter 1. Christmas at Camelot was a truly joyous affair. Mistletoe hung in the doorways and holly decorated the tables. It was a time of celebration, filled with laughter and feasts, and good-natured competition amongst King Arthur and his knights. Every day, Arthur led his men from Camelot to hunt in the neighboring forests. Each knight hoped that he would be the one to bring back the largest prey, which would become the centerpiece for the feast that evening. But it was for the New Year's feast, the last of the season, that the competition really began. As the sun rose on New Year's Day, Sir Gawain set out with his fellow knights in high hopes. He had been the most successful in the hunts so far, bringing back over half of the centerpieces. He had no doubt that he would be successful again until Sir Bedivere brought down a huge boar and was declared the winner. It was even bigger than Cabal, Kay declared, as he shared the story in the great hall that evening. At the sound of his name, Arthur's largest hunting dog trotted over, hoping for food. Kay laughed, clapping Bedivere on the shoulder. Even with only one hand, he's still a better hunter than the rest of us. As the laughter rose, Gawain drank his wine in silence, staring at the fire burning brightly in the hearth. Draining his cup, he held it in the air to ask a passing servant to refill it. "Don't look so dejected," Kay scolded him. "Your time will come soon enough, will it?" Gawain sighed. He had come to Camelot with dreams of greatness. He had been determined to prove himself worthy of his seat at the Round Table and gain glory for himself and his king. Lately he doubted whether he would ever get the chance. But Kay was nodding. "Of course it will. You're young. You have plenty of time to find your quest." Gawain glanced up as the king stood abruptly at the front of the room where he dined with the Queen and Merlin. Guinevere looked particularly lovely in a ruby silk gown and simple gold chain belt. "Today, we celebrate the new year," Arthur announced, looking strong and happy beside her. "And what better way than with a heroic tale?" The room filled with expectant murmuring as people began looking around, wondering who would speak. "I wish to hear a tale of bravery and cunning from one of my knights." Gawain gripped his cup, wishing he had reason to speak. Suddenly the main doors burst open with a resounding crash. Icy winter air swept the room, extinguishing dozens of candles in the wrought iron chandeliers. The shape of a man on horseback filled the doorway. No. Not a man. Gawain squeezed his eyes shut in disbelief, but when he opened them again he saw the same thing. Not only was the intruder riding a horse inside the castle. Not only was he enormous. He was green. Green all over, from the holly wreath upon his shoulder-length green hair, down his armor to his boots. His skin was the color of a young oak leaf and his beard was the color of wet moss. Even the blade of the axe hanging at his side looked like it was made of emerald. The only thing that wasn't green were his fiery red eyes that seemed to burn into every soul in Camelot's great hall. Chapter 2. The giant rode a few paces into the room, revealing the slumped bodies of Arthur's guards in the hallway. His fearsome warhorse, which had appeared to be black in the doorway, was now clearly the deepest, darkest green. Its muscles rippled in the candlelight. "Calm yourselves," the giant's voice boomed, deep and forceful, as women screamed and men, including Gawain, scrambled for their weapons. "I come here for sport, not war." "Sport?" Arthur questioned. He spoke calmly enough, but he had maneuvered himself closer to Guinevere. Excalibur glinted at his hip. The giant dismounted and faced the king. "Do I stand before Arthur Pendragon?" he asked. Behind him, two of the guards stirred on the floor, dizzily trying to regain their feet. Arthur visibly relaxed when he saw that they had not been permanently harmed. "You do," he replied carefully. And as king I welcome you to Camelot." He paused before adding, "If, as you say, you are not here to fight, perhaps you will join us in our celebrations?" The giant shook his head. "I have not come here to eat." "Then why have you come?" "I have heard stories of the bravery and honor of you and your knights. I have come to test the truth of them." The hall filled with outraged voices. "I need one man," the giant continued. "One man who will strike me a blow with this axe." Slipping his axe from his belt, he held the weapon aloft. "Then, a year from now, I will return the exact same blow." The voices fell silent. A sound like a distant landslide rumbled through the room. The giant was laughing. "Is this truly the court of King Arthur? Are you men really the bravest in the land?" "I think not." "You are cowards, I see that now. Give me your axe." All heads turned to see Arthur making his way towards the giant. "I will strike the blow and prove that no one here is a coward." The giant handed Arthur his axe, but warned, "Remember, King of Kings, you have only one blow." "One blow is all I need," Arthur promised as he hefted the axe. It too was huge. "Wait! Stop, Your Majesty!" Gawain wove his way to where Arthur and the giant stood. "Let me do this," he pleaded. "Let me be the one to strike the blow." "There's no need," Arthur insisted. "Please, uncle. I have been waiting for a chance to prove myself to you and this court." This is it. Arthur could not deny such a request. "So be it," he agreed. As Gawain accepted the axe, Arthur leant in close and whispered, "Aim well and he will not be alive to return the blow next year?" Gawain nodded his understanding before turning to face the green man. "My name is Gawain. I accept your challenge." "Well, it is good to see that your king has one brave man in his court." The red eyes glanced disdainfully around the hall. "Now, Sir Gawain, you must promise, before your king, that you will find me in a year and let me return the blow." "Who are you and where will I find you?" Gawain asked. Adrenaline was already coursing through him, along with the certainty that he would never need to know the answer. "I shall tell you that after you have made your blow." "As you wish." Gawain hesitated.